Greetings, my fellow gamers. I am Wraith King, and welcome to the Dark Kingdom. Today, we're not just talking about Destiny and Trials of Osiris, although that is the focus. We're also just talking about PvP in general. But before I begin, I want to make this as clear as possible. Crystal, I suck at PvP. With that said, I think it's understood that I have no interest in being the best player in the world because I'm just not the best player in the world. I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who just wants to have fun with the game. I'm not in this to win it, I just want to enjoy it and get some cool loot along the way. Now, with that said, I still want to enjoy this game mode and I want to get the loot out of it. And I have to win in some conditions to actually find some of the weapons I'm looking for. So speaking from the perspective of someone who isn't entirely the best at the game, I just want to get some cool loot. That's it. I don't really care about getting to the top of the leaderboard, or getting the glows from Trials of Osiris, or just being a good player in general. I don't really care about that. I just want to have fun with my friends. I want to get some cool loot along the way. That's it. But when you have game modes like Trials of Osiris and Destiny, it really takes that to an unpleasant level. You have to be a pro if you want to get this weapon that would be good elsewhere in the game. A lot of games suffer from this problem, but one in particular, Destiny 2, has a game mode called Trials of Osiris. It's a good idea and a bad one all at the same time. Although the game mode's concept is great, I feel like the execution could have been a lot better. But here's why it's a good idea. It encourages professional players to play against each other, to test their skills, and if they get to the top without losing once, they get these really cool armor glows to show off that they got to the top flawlessly. So you get some really hardcore sweaty players going head to head, and so they can get some really cool cosmetic rewards in the process. And you know what? I think that's fine. Gaming is a sport to its core, so there is absolutely no problem with that. To play this game competitively, not just Destiny 2, but any game in general. Because gaming is a sport, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But here's the issue with Trials of Osiris. Instead of just making this a simple competitive thing, where in this game's case you get 7 wins without losses, you can maybe get an exotic ship, which again is cosmetic. Things like that are fine. But when you start including weapons that are good elsewhere, you get everyone in on the bandwagon. Not just the hardcore sweaty players who are in this for the sport. You're gonna get in casual players like me who just want to get the weapons because they are good elsewhere, not just in Trials of Osiris. And of course there are just the completionists who want to get every single weapon in the game. So when you mix two groups of very different players together, you're going to get problems. Not only are you going to get hackers, lots and lots of hackers, but also professionals, paid professionals, professionals that ask people to pay them money so they can carry them to the end of the activity flawlessly and claim their flawless reward, which would be the glows and the weapons that are included in the chest. So not only do you have competitive players who are in this for the sport, just so they can get, their flawless and get their glows, but you have professional players who are also in this. And the professional players aren't just playing so they can get to the top, to the lighthouse and get the glows, but they're playing so they can put food on the table. So you have hardcore, sweaty players, paid professionals, hackers. Yes, hackers. People who play worse than me so they result to hacking their way to the top.
But wait! There's more!
Not only do you have hackers, paid professionals, and sweaty pros, but there's another handicap in here. None of these games are match made, so you have to bring people you either know or result to LFG to even start this game. So let's say your friends are packed during the weekend and they can't play Destiny. Maybe your clan isn't all that active and you don't have a lot of people on and it's just you for most of the week. Well, you can't even play this game mode. But let's say you use LFG. For those of you who do not know what it is, in short, it's basically a queue that's an app on your phone or PC. It's terrible. I don't know why they don't have one of these in Destiny. I just don't know why it's not built into the game, and half the time it doesn't even work.
But I'm not done yet.
But let's say you have all those problems settled, right? Right? You think you could just jump into this game mode. You're a good player, you got everything set up, you got a nice team. Oh, but wait, your power level is low. Ooh, too bad. That means you're just gonna die in like 3 hits by anybody. Whether it be a headshot or body shot, it doesn't matter. You're gonna die really, really darn quick if your power level is low in this game. For those of you who do not understand what a power level is in Destiny, well, it's basically just what it sounds like. It's how strong you are. I'll use mine for example. I'm 1315 as of recording this video, so anyone who is a lower power level than me, I will kill very, very quickly. Now, with all of those handicaps out the way, I have a question for the casual players like me out there who just want to get some digital weapons in their video game. Do you want to play some Trials of Osiris?
No, I don't think I will.
Do you want to get shot by a blur moving across your screen? Get shot by a sniper rifle in less than a split second? Get teabagged by hackers? And finally, when you've lost so many times, you finally got your engram. It's an absolutely terrible roll. So you basically did that whole grind for nothing. And wait, you got some trials tokens from the one win you got? Well, it's not enough to actually get you another engram. You have to win a lot of matches before you can actually get another engram with your tokens. Sorry, that's just how it works. So with the competitive and toxic player base, do you really want to play some Trials of Osiris now?
How about no?
But what if I told you there was a way to make this fair and accessible to actually everyone? Not just the players who dedicate their lives to this game, who play it religiously, who have their whole existence based off of PvP in video games. Well, what if I told you it could be easy for everyone? I was discussing with my clan a while ago, and some good friends, how we could make PvP in Trials of Osiris, but not just there, but most of the Crucible, easier and accessible to actually everyone. I believe we should add a freelance mode to Trials of Osiris, but not just any ordinary freelance mode. No, this is something that actually separates the hardcore sweaty players, the professionals, and the hackers from the casual players who are just in this for some weapons. As every freelance works, you cannot bring your friends and your clanmates along with you, so goodbye to super sweaty players trying to farm casual players. No more of that. The same goes for hackers. But here's what makes this freelance mode different from the others. If you have ever completed Trials of Osiris flawlessly, you can simply never play in Trials of Osiris freelance. This game mode is designed solely for the farming of weapons, and that's it. But what about getting 7 wins? And what about the lighthouse? Well, in this game mode, there is no losses to be had. If you actually lose at all, nothing really happens. But when you do make it to the lighthouse, you are not rewarded the cosmetics you are from the original flawless Trials of Osiris chest. Instead, you're given more of the weapons or the armor that drops that week. I'm talking 3 random rolls on either the weapon or the armor piece that drops that week. And with all of those rewards, you also get the adept weapon that drops from the chest that week, but only once per week on each character. The reason I didn't include the other cosmetics of Trials of Osiris is because I believe in competitive gameplay, and I want to reward those players who do invest the time into original Trials of Osiris. And I adore the concept of players being paid to play video games, and I want that to keep happening. I mean, I'm paid to draw, so why can't people be paid to play video games? People should always find a job in doing the things they love, and I will never take that away from the professionals who play this game for a living. But let's say you don't believe people would be interested in buying a flawless carry, because a lot of the players aren't really after the glows specifically, they're kinda just after the weapons, so you might lose them as a customer. Well, here's your answer to that. When you get Flawless on the original Trials of Osiris playlist, you don't just get random rolls on your Adept weapon and your other weapons and the cosmetics. Instead, you can actually just pick your rewards. Okay, let's say you want a roll like my summoner here. But hey, you got a trash roll at the end of the Flawless chest. Well, first of all, you're not going to just get your weapon right away like you would normally do. You would get the weapon with random rolls, but with your Trials token, you will be able to select the perk column you want to re-roll using your Trials tokens. So let's say you want Rampage like mine. You can use your Trials tokens to re-roll this perk column until you get it. And I think it would be fair if it cost at least 5 Trials tokens to re-roll a perk column. And yes, this would also apply to the Adept weapons you find. So this basically just means you pick the rolls you want and the game doesn't anymore. Now for the armor pieces, I actually had a concept that would be very similar to, well, selecting your rolls in each column, but instead of that, you actually buy focus engrams that give you, well, increased strength, resilience, recovery, so on and so forth. You can spend 20 Trials tokens to get a focus roll on your particular category that you select, whether it be strength, resilience, discipline, so on and so forth. You get to select which category you want to focus, and it will give you a guaranteed plus 20 stat roll on that category. And no, it's guaranteed to be plus 20 stats on your selected category, and 60 points divided amongst the others. Let's say you select strength and it's like 1 in discipline and 1 in the other columns. That would suck. Nah, man, I'm talking 60 points divided amongst the other stats and the plus 20 on your selected stat. All of this making the Flawless chest still amazing and still rewarding to those who pursue it. But at the same time, players will still have access to all of these rewards, but just randomly. The Flawless chest will give you a really high rolled armor piece on the freelance, but you won't be able to select which one it is. And of course, there's no cosmetics in the freelance chest, because I want to maintain the quality of the Flawless chests on the original playlist. But what do you folks think? Leave your suggestions in the comment section below. And please do leave a like and subscribe so you too can be a part of the Dark Kingdom. I would appreciate it. But until next time, my fellow gamers, bye.